If you are single, this episode is for you. Cece and I, we're going to talk about some of the things that all of our single viewers should be paying attention to make sure that you have the best dating life. Stay tuned.
Hey, Mr. Friends, welcome back to another episode of the Blissology Podcast. I am your girl, your host, Cece. As always, I have my amazing husband, co-host. Babe, what's going on?
I am good.
Okay, what's happening here? Why do you have lipstick on?
You guys can get what was happening before we started.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen, we have fun here. And, guys, we really appreciate you tuning in for another real, another raw, another relevant conversations where I get lipstick in my mouth. But you know what? We talk about these things every Saturday. If this is your first time tuning into our podcast, this is a weekly podcast where we talk about love, where we talk about family, or we talk about relationship. And occasionally, I get lipstick on my mouth.
Hey, listen, it's going to happen here. We are so grateful for having you guys here with us today. I just cannot believe it's the end of March.
Believe it or not, we are. So March is marching itself out.
Yeah, you guys, March is marching out of here in a blink of an eye.
I hope whatever you needed to do, you had it done.
Before you know it, we're going to be like in summer.
But anyway, before we get into the topic of the day, we'd like to share our blissful moment with you. Now, as you guys know, it's either something that happened to us or something that we did. In my case,
Okay.
I had a learning moment earlier.
Okay, what's that learning moment?
Cece's like, go get Cheryl. And I'm like, what the hey? Who is Cheryl? Listen, there's 4 of us in this house. The other kids?
It's 5.
Well, there's a guinea pig.
Roxy.
There's Roxy. And I'm like, what is Cheryl?
Oh, who is Cheryl?
That couldn't have been who is Cheryl because I know all the who's who are in the house.
All the who.
Come to find out, she's got her wig's name.
Of course. Every woman does.
I didn't know that. I didn't know, but the first time I was told, go get Cheryl, and I'm looking at her. Are you? Who is Cheryl? Or what is Cheryl? But yeah, I found out that she's got names for her wigs.
I do.
So now when I get in the closet, I might as well start saying,
Listen,
hey, Cheryl.
I don't have that many wigs.
We don't normally put our business out on social media, so I'm not going to say anything. I will not respond to this comment.
10.
No comments. No comments. But yeah, I found out that she names her wigs.
What are you trying to say, baby? I have a lot of wigs.
Did I say that? I didn't say anything.
You think I have a wig fetish?
I'm still not saying anything.
Let's be honest. Like you can say whether if I do or not.
This is how they try to get you in trouble. They kind of lead you on to see what you would say.
I mean, I'm just asking
but
a
for
question.
every man out there, I think you can plead the fifth.
Listen, it's already getting hot. Okay, it's getting hot.
Yeah.
I had to put my homegirl away for a little bit because when it's hot,
you can't wear that stuff.
No, you gotta put your curls on. You gotta put Cheryl on.
I guess she's wearing Cheryl. But anyway, so that was my learning. I find out, we've been together for like ages. I know she names her car.
Yes,
she names her laptop. She names her computer. I believe she names her phone. I don't know what the name is.
My cameras, my vlogging cameras.
She names her cameras. I didn't know the wigs had name, but then I should have known better because if Cece has something, most likely she'll be naming it.
I'm gonna put a name on it. If I can't come up with a name, I'm gonna ask my daughters, what do you girls think I should name her? And then I'll come up with something.
I want to think that I'm not alone in this. So if there are any ladies watching this, please let me know in the comments if you name your wigs or whatever accessories you have.
There we go.
Do you name them? But anyway, that's the blissful moment. And listen, I learned, so now I know Sheila exists. Mm-hmm. And I know there's a Roxy and there's a Cheryl. Anyway, so today we're talking about something that so many of you guys have asked for. Mindfully dating for singles.
Yes, listen.
Let's be honest. Dating today can feel like a hot mess.
We got a lot of situationships, right? We got a lot of ghosting, which we talked on the podcast before.
Yeah, that term sounds familiar. The ghosting.
The situationships. Oh, we kind of like in a situationship kind of thing. We don't know what it is yet. Like, what are we doing? Are we like if you were like in your 20s, or mid 20s. 30s.
So something like my mom got married at 21, so
you gotta know if you are in a relationship? What are we doing?
Yeah. So yes, it can get complicated.
Yes.
You know, going back to the situationship, the love bombing. There's a bunch of terms that they use out there to describe the type of relationship that people find themselves into.
That they are
or you've been on the talking stage forever and it's been 5 years, you're still talking.
And it's exhausting.
Yeah. So the dating world is a little bit of a mess out there, you know? It's not like the way our parents met. You know, they met, they fell in love, and boom, they got married. Mm-hmm. And 40 years later, they're still with each other.
That's right. 47 years, my parents. Yes.
So now it's not like that. You know, you've got dating apps, you've got
situationships,
you've got sexting, you've got some disappearing act. You were here once and you're gone.
Right.
You know, and everybody's talking about, you know, all different types of things out there. And you're like, so if I'm dating, how do I make sure that I can build something?
Too many people are dating out of habit, right?
Yeah.
Boredom, if you want to think about it, because of the pressure. If we think about our church, the community that we're part of, right? And I think all that there's so much pressure from society. Yeah. Especially if you're Christian. And I think it's so important for you to take the time and truly know what you really want. It doesn't matter if you like in your 30s. It's okay to take your time.
You know, I think you shouldn't push it. You know, you should take your time, obviously, but make sure you go at it with a purpose.
Yes.
If I'm dating, I have to know why I'm dating and whom I'm dating and really set some expectations as to why I'm dating and what I'm looking to get from it.
Yeah.
Part of our goal here is to help you slow down, you know, help you take a deep breath and date with your eyes and with your heart open.
That's right.
You know, because when you date mindfully, you stop chasing potential. I know if you look out there, you'll find a number of people who has potential, but go at it with purpose.
That's right.
Because if you're choosing potential, you'll be going from one potential to the next and never settle. Find out what you need and go at it and give it all that you have.
I think dating can be fun.
Oh yeah, it should
I'm
be
sure
fun.
There's people still let's pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
There's people that's dating or having fun. And I think the ones that are talking, the ones that are coming out are the ones that are like, you know, going through the motion, not able to find a good man, right? Talking about like a good woman too. And I think for the ones that are looking for the relationship that they've seen their parents had and they want something similar, they may not have it in their circle. Maybe they have to go outside of their circle for them to find that
Could be
good relationship, right?
You know, and sometimes you have to do things differently. And what I say is that let's start with the basic. Mindful dating isn't just about being picky or overthinking. It's about being aware.
That's right.
You're slowing down. You checking in with your heart. You're asking yourself, why am I doing this?
Yes.
And who am I inviting in my life?
That's right.
You know, because it's like going to the grocery store when you're hungry, or you go in with no plan, right?
Yes.
And you go there without a list. That's why now before I get to the store, I get me a list. It's a text that has everything that I need, and then I go from one aisle to the next. If you go to the store hungry without a list, you're gonna end up buying stuff that you don't even need.
I agree.
Right? Same as dating. If you're lonely, you unhealed, you're suffering from past trauma. You're not clear on your needs, you're going to end up entertaining someone else who only feels a temporary craving. When you go at it, you got to make sure you know what you want, or you know what you're looking to get from this.
Yes.
Right?
I agree, because listen, baby, back in our days, okay, which wasn't that long ago.
That was a whole 15 years ago.
I'm still 25. That was not that long ago. Back in our days, listen, dating was more straightforward, okay? Like, you come to me, you know, you feel me, you like me, then we talk, and then before you know,
we hook up.
No, I make sure that my parents know that we talking.
Yeah.
Right? You met someone at church, like you and I met at church, or at the grocery store, or at the gym, or wherever that you meet your partner, or sometimes could be through friends. You meet your partner through friends, your family member. But now the problem is just that there's swiping, there's DMs, there's ghosting, red flags, right?
Yeah.
We're doing a soft launch like we talked about before in the podcast where people are just like in some kind of a, situationship, as we mentioned before, because
it's like a trial period.
We don't want that. Listen, we're raising girls and we want to make sure that our girls know this is my parents set up protocols and there's nothing wrong with the way they set the way that it should be. Okay. We millennials, we believe that you got to go through the parents first. We old school. Okay.
Well, let me say this.
Okay.
It's a different world we're being brought up in, right? Things are happening in cyberspace now that didn't exist when we were dating.
What wasn't existed when we were dating?
Man, social media was not even around.
It was around. We had MySpace. We had High Five. We had MySpace.
Actually, we did.
We had High Five.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It's not like
MySpace was a big deal.
It's not like things are right now. This is a different world.
I get it, but we had MySpace.
I couldn't get MySpace on my phone.
Same here.
Right?
Yes.
Your connection to the internet would take days to load a web page.
Yes.
It was different. Right?
Did you have High Five?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
You know that site still exists.
Oh, does it?
So does MySpace.
Yes, MySpace still.
So, but it's a different world. And I understand that not everyone's going to date or do things the way that we did. But I think even if you're doing it in a technology age, you do have to do it with purpose.
Yeah.
Right? You have to do it with the intentions of getting something from it that benefits you, but also provide something that benefits the other person. Yes. I think there's a lot of people that make good connections online. It's just that,
I don't know.
Listen, I believe otherwise this platform wouldn't exist.
I don't know about
They
online.
give people ways to connect. Whether the connection is good enough for it to turn into something.
Like, I'm all like about you go to school, you are actually in college, you meet someone that is in the same field as you or that's at the same school. And then you guys, start from there.
She's really old school.
It's such a beautiful story where, you met someone either church or school. I think it's pretty versus like, oh, somebody in my DMs. Like, what are you doing in my DMs? What you should not be doing in nobody's DMs.
That could be a classmate from class.
No, we don't do DMs. I don't care. DMs
well, our kids don't have DMs, and it's gonna be a while before they have.
By the time they have DMs, they won't be available anymore. Let's just put it that way, okay?
Yeah, but you know what? The dating world is different than what it used to be. It's loud.
Yes.
It could get messy.
Yes.
And people forget to slow down and ask the simple question.
Yes.
That is, what do I really want?
Right.
And what do I really need?
Yeah.
And I think those are questions that are fundamental for people to ask as they go into this dating world. Now, I don't think everyone's going to date the way that we dated.
Why
I don't
not?
see it. But I think even through these technology that we have available, I think we should still be asking ourselves, what do we really want?
Right.
And you know what? Whatever we want, are we providing the same to the person? Because sometimes we focus so much on what we want. We expect this person to bring it all, where we contribute none.
Yeah.
So if I want this person to be a classy person, then I need to show up as a classy person.
Right.
If I need this person to be educated, I need to show up as an educated person.
Right.
So whatever you're expecting, you got to make sure that you're showing up as that as well.
I agree. Yes, and also for my single sis out there, listen, mindful dating, all right, means you got to be honest with yourself. Not just chasing vibes or surface level attraction. You know, you got to be very mindful. Listen, I get it. If you like someone who's been looking and been praying and been wanting to be with someone, and you have to keep doing what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with you. Once the time come, okay, the person will appear. This is what I'm saying. Like, you got to be mindful. Don't be like, my time is ticking or I got to be with someone. Yeah. Right. And there's questions also you got to ask yourself. does this person match my values, right? Because yes, it's not going to happen in the beginning of the phase, but however, as you guys are dating and talking, you're going to start seeing and start asking yourself this question: can I be fully myself around this person?
Yes, very important.
Can I be myself around you? Do I feel like uptight? Do I feel like I can't laugh? Yes, you got to ask yourself this question, right, babe?
Yes, you're right. And you also got to ask yourself, are you choosing this person from a hill place?
Yes.
You know, are you in the right mind? Are you in the right place?
Right.
Or are you choosing this person to maybe feel some hurt that you have?
That's right.
You got to make sure you ask yourself that, because choosing this person with the right intention makes a big difference.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And let me say this, you know, be careful who you let in your heart.
Yes.
And also in your ears.
Okay.
You know, not everyone who shows interest is sent by God. Believe me, some people are the devil themselves. Some people just want your time. Some just want your attention.
Yeah.
Some just want what God gave you. You need someone who speaks life into you, not someone who's creating more confusion.
That's right.
So
that's right.
You shouldn't let everyone in.
Yeah, I agree. And don't just let anyone talk you into something your spirit knows ain't right.
Yes.
Right? If your spirit tells you this ain't for you, then just let it be. Just let it go. Right? Just because someone says the right things does not mean they're the right person for you.
Yeah, at least not right now.
Not right now. Yeah. Yes. And that's why it's so important to date with intention, and you know what you're looking for. Know what matters to you, right? And these are some great tips, and they're coming from us being married for 15 years. You got to know what you're looking for. You got to know what matters to you. And last thing I want to mention is, don't bend your standards just to feel love for a moment.
Yes.
You know how I feel about my standards.
Oh, yes.
Listen, know how
she
I feel.
made me wait for a very long time because
you know
there's
how I
certain
feel.
things that she would
because
not.
you want to know if this person is the right person for you.
Yes.
Right? Although I see you, I like you. Now I am praying, God, is this the right person for me? He seems right. I don't want to be blind by the devil. I want to make sure that this is the right person that he has for me. If he's right, then let me know. Give me a signal. I think there's prayers that you could start from your heart and start talking to God. If you see someone that you truly like, you don't want to be confused, like you mentioned earlier. It's so great to ask God if this is the right person.
Absolutely.
And a signal could just be easily, yes, girl, go ahead and take it.
You know, and all these things are important.
Right.
But it's important to obviously address some of the concern, you know, one of which is, why is dating today so darn complicated?
Yeah.
You know, social media, I'd say, has changed the way that we do a lot of things.
I agree.
Social media makes dating seems like love is disposable. If someone does not respond in 30 minutes, you're triggered. You got upset. You think you're being ignored. You know, if they don't post in a week, you're getting suspicious. Are they doing something else? Are they running away from you? Are they hiding from you? Now, I'm glad that I didn't have to deal with this, but those are real concerns that people have out there.
Yeah, and not just social media. We get texts from people too that you don't respond right away, they get upset.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't talking about me. But
We're
when
not
you
even
and
dating.
when we were dating, okay, let's give a little real story right now. When we were dating, I had that issue because I wasn't sure whether if I was just being like, you know, because when you like dating someone in the first stage, you're not sure whether if it's like just playing with you or just like if he's really into you, right? Like I would text him and then he'll take him like hours to text him. I'm like, wait, really? They'd forget you. I'm one of those people where if I don't get the attention back, I'm easily be like, you know what? Then boy, bye.
Forget you.
I'm like, boy, bye. I am just like, that's who I am. I am who God says I am.
I am the type of person. You sent me a text. If it's not like something that says urgently reach back out to me, I'm going to get back to you when I get back to you.
Then I feel like I'm being ignored. If you are truly feel like you want me to be your girlfriend, then if I text you,
I got to jump on that text.
I'm not saying jump, but at least 15 minutes later, reply. If you, because you know they see the text. Because you have a phone for a reason. At the time we had
Well, our phones could not tell when the text was read.
No, but
it wasn't that advanced.
But you had a phone that worked, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah, I got the text.
Okay.
I was just not responding.
That's just how it is now. If you text me and I don't respond, you call me.
Well, yes, if I need you, I'll call you.
Yeah, if I don't respond to him right away, there was a point that you were like that.
Yeah, I'll call you.
You like, I just text you, didn't call me back. Or
Where
you didn't
you
text
at?
me. Yes. Yes. And he is that,
Listen, we had our moment just like anyone did. It's just that it happened at a different time.
Right. Yeah.
So, but you know, we had our
ghosting.
things. Obviously, it did happen in a different time.
Yes.
And I don't think we put so much weight on those things.
That's right. That's what it is.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll drive to your place and come see you. I didn't have to, but I'll announce it. I won't show up unannounced.
Yeah.
You know,
because my daddy would not let you just show up
we
like that.
We did a lot of stuff in the physical world, which
We
is
did. We
different
did.
than,
And I think this is what, with our boomers parents, the way they raised us, I truly feel like it was legit. I truly feel like, there's a thing that I know Pastor T.D. Jakes mentioned a lot, the gentle parenting nowadays, that, the millennial parents and then the Gen Zs are really being very gentle parenting with their children. But I truly enjoy the way our parents really...
Oh, yeah, you'll get some smacking
discipline
if you misbehave.
Yes, bring someone into our home. Listen, you can't just keep bringing someone every week, every month, or every year, right? If I'm dating my husband, this is the man that I know that I'm dating, and God says, "Go ahead, girl, this is him." Then I will bring him to my daddy and make sure that, hey, we've started seeing each other.
They know who I am, so I can't run.
And then this is who he. And the same thing goes for when we got engaged. You came over to the house and told my parents that, that was something.
So we did a lot of traditional stuff.
A lot. And I truly feel like it was very good. It was good. It was good. I don't see anything wrong with the way things were back then.
Well, we have evolved. People has evolved.
I think the evolve is just messing things up, if you ask me, because of all these dating apps, and it's like a whole menu of people, and no one really know what they want, right? No one is really committing to what they want to eat, if I want to say, to the meal that they want. They just, I don't know. I just feel like there's just too many dating apps, even the ones that is so-called Christian dating apps.
Yeah.
I truly feel like
It's not really Christian.
it's not. There's that Christian mingle that I've heard online.
Okay.
It's not really. Listen, if God wants you to stay single for the rest of your life, then so be it. At least he sees that you try, right? You got to try too. Don't get me wrong. You got to try and get out of your shell and go ahead out there and be able to be seen. I think we mentioned that last few months.
You have to.
You have to be able to be seen and let people know that, hey,
I'm available and I'm looking.
I mean, don't just say it like that, but...
Listen,
and don't be dressing up in a certain way that make people think that you're looking desperately.
It's important that we use technology, but make sure that we put it in the right place, right? Because we've become more connected digitally than we are emotionally connected.
Oof.
Right? And it makes people feel like
say it one more time, baby.
we are more connected digitally than we are connected emotionally.
See how we were more connected emotionally?
Of course.
In our
digital world existed when on our time, but
Right.
it didn't play that big of a role in our day to day.
yeah.
This day it's the reverse. We all tied in digitally, but physically and
Yeah.
emotionally we're not quite there. People would hold conversation for hours online, and then they get together in person, they have no idea what to talk about.
Right.
So it makes
Right.
people feel like real love is out of reach.
Yeah.
But it's not. It just requires something. Some folks are dating just to prove something on Instagram.
Listen.
Yes, some folks, that's
Listen.
it. They want those picture perfect Instagram posts. That's it.
Yeah, like you can't manifest love, right? If you still entertaining confusion.
Oh no!
Come
you
on,
cannot.
somebody. You can't. You can't. You really can't.
Yeah, and I think people go at it for the wrong reason.
They do.
They go at it for
They
the
do.
wrong reason, and sometimes there's certain things they got to work in themselves before they
Yeah.
should even think about getting
Yeah.
with someone. Now, let's get into the heart of all of this, right?
Okay.
How do you date with purpose in a culture that glamorizes hookups, casual vibes? And let's just see how we go type of things,
Yes.
I'm going to test this out to see where we get to.
Yeah.
Now, I believe dating is testing, though.
Yes,
You
it
got to
is.
test, but sometimes
You don't have to test everything, though.
it's good to test stuff. That's why when we go buy clothes, we go to the store and we try them out.
We don't test everything.
That's why Amazon lets you try stuff and then return them. But yeah, I mean, we live in a culture where a lot of things are glamorized, and a lot of things are being looked at in a way that,
Very glamorized, baby.
yes.
Yes.
So, but you got to start with being honest with yourself, like brutally honest.
That's true.
And you got to be honest with the person you're dating as well. Be open. If you want a relationship that leads to marriage, say that. Don't keep hanging around and think the person, let the person think that you just in it to have fun. No, if you're in it to get married from the get-go, say that.
Yeah.
If you're still healing maybe from past craziness you dealt with and you're not ready for something serious, you got to own that too. Let that person know, listen, I got some stuff that I got to work out.
Right.
Let's take a pause here.
Right.
Don't keep going at it, letting this
Yeah.
person think that there's something there. So you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Stop dating like you're afraid to speak. Say what you want.
I agree.
And don't just say it. I mean it. Because people out here giving boyfriend and girlfriend energy to people who have not earned that title. So if you're going to call someone your boyfriend and your girlfriend, they have to be acting the part.
That's true.
The
That's
support you
true.
need and all that stuff, that has to be there.
That's true.
Otherwise, you just blessing this person with this title that they haven't earned.
Listen.
And ladies and fellas as well, hear me out. Consistency without commitment is manipulation. Yeah, if someone's showing up as if they want to be that forever person, then you got to start talking about the future. In other words, someone's always there. They're always there, but your conversation never talks about what the next step is. You just convenient,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Imagine if I was showing up at your house all the time and we never talked about where the next step goes, right? I still be showing up at your house right now.
Right.
You'll just be convenient for me. So yes, if someone's
Yeah.
showing up as if they want forever, then talk about the future is necessary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why, ladies, mindful dating is a form of self-respect. Listen, you're not begging for clarity. And I told you this before, don't beg anyone. You walking in it, okay? You asking, is this relationship really helping me becoming the woman, or for the fellas, the men I want to be? You got to ask these questions,
Oh, yes.
right? Or am I just in this relationship?
You got to ask this question. Because if you're in that relationship, you're in it because you want it to make you better.
Right.
Is it doing that?
You're supposed to grow. In other words, you're supposed to grow in everything in life.
So absolutely. And you got to pay attention to red flag. When we see red flag and still keep going like it's a green light, that's a problem, right?
So going like it's a green light.
Well, yes, if there are certain things that's outside of what you would expect,
Right.
outside of the things that are valuable to you that you see in that person, don't
Yeah.
disregard them.
Yeah.
This is when you need to put a break and say, does this make sense? Should I keep going? Right? So yes, don't ignore red flags.
Yeah.
And I know just because we see a red flag, that doesn't mean this person is a bad person.
At all.
It just means they're not the right one for you right now.
Yes.
Maybe like they can't communicate. They don't respect your time. They're inconsistent.
Listen, those are red
Right?
flags for me.
They
Red flags.
They talk bad about all their exes.
Oh, yeah.
You
That's
know?
major red flags.
Or worse, they'll leave you more confused than when you started with them.
Listen, baby. Listen. Red flags, if you not be consistent with me, those are red flags.
So those are the things you definitely have to pay attention to.
Yes. And there's a lot of red flags and there's green flags, right? There's green flags. I think, when you feel at peace, when you feel like, wow, I can be with this person,
Yeah.
not perfect, but you know that you're at peace. You know that there's no confusion,
Yes.
right? When you talk to them, I remember when we were dating, we would talk on the phone until I fall asleep until the next morning. Listen, we all had insecurities, right? We all had our own insecurities. However, the growth that I see in me, whew, baby.
She gonna pay me.
And this is why it's so important to be with someone that help you grow
Absolutely.
Someone that makes you see things differently, and someone that, kind of help you with your own insecurities, because we all have them.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I can say the same thing for her. And this is what makes our relationship so rewarding is that we help each other grow in ways that only us can help each other do that. Right.
Yes.
So, but yes, my views have changed on a number of things since we've gotten together.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about for the better.
Yes.
So, and one thing I want to add is you got to make sure that you set boundaries and pay attention as to how this person act around those boundaries. That's a big one. Anyone can vibe when it's easy. But here's something people don't say enough. You don't need to ignore your gut feeling just to keep someone around. If it feels off, it probably is off.
That part.
Right?
Yes. That is so true, baby. And you don't have to prove your value. Listen, to anyone. The right one will already see it through, okay? Yes, you got to keep going and keep growing. And listen, to every single person listening, we know the waiting period can be hard.
So yes, I mean, if you do things right, eventually things will fall in place. And yes, you'll eventually get married and build that family together. But one thing I want to say, sometimes there could be pressure around if you're single, but people around you are getting married. And you're seeing them, and people are very vocal in posting what's happening in their life on social media. So you get to see it. They're showing you their vacations. They're showing you what they're doing for the holidays. All of that stuff can really get to some of you. But you got to listen. Waiting doesn't mean you're behind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It means you're being prepared.
Yes, I agree. And if I want to add to what you just said, it also is if your friend over here, all your besties, your girlfriends are getting married and getting engaged, be happy for them, because you're not jealous. You're not like over here say, you know what, when is it going to be my time? Trust and believe. I know it's going to feel like that. You're going to want to be like, when is it going to be my time? But because you're being happy for your friends getting engaged, God is going to bless you. That means the blessing is not far from where it's coming, right? If you are a friend with me and I'm getting married, that means, the blessing is here. Then you're next to me.
That means you're next.
That means you're next in line. So be happy. Be happy for them.
It's good to approach singleness with the right mindset.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
You being single doesn't mean you're being put in a sentence for the rest of your life.
Yes.
No, it's just a season.
That's right.
And there's so much power in this season. You're learning how to love yourself.
Right.
How to walk with God. How to build peace within your own life.
Right.
That's not wasted time though.
At all.
That's time that you've been given to build a solid foundation for yourself.
That's right.
We talk about when you go into a relationship, you're expecting the other person to bring all of those goodies.
Right.
Your time being single, this is where you're building those in yourself so you can bring into that person.
That's right.
So use that time, especially when it comes to loving yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Very important to do so.
Yes.
Don't let loneliness make you settle.
That's right.
For a life that probably less than what God has for you.
Amen.
Right? And hear me clearly. You're allowed to protect your time.
That's right.
No one should control your time except God. And you're also allowed to protect your ears. No one should be talking you into doing things that you don't want to do. And yes, you damn sure allowed to protect your heart.
Listen.
Don't give people access to that unless it makes sense for you.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And fellas, if you out there dating, do it with intentions.
Yeah.
Don't waste her time if you're not ready. Be honest and be clear and lead with respect, not confusion. If you're asking God for a good woman, make sure you're becoming a man who can handle that kind of a woman. Believe me, good women can be hard to deal with because they have their priorities in place.
That's right.
If you don't have your priorities in place, you can't handle a good woman. So get your stuff together.
Get your life
And obviously, when we talk about get your stuff together, you got to make sure spiritually you're there, emotionally you're there, physically you're there, mentally you're there. Because all these things play a big part in having a successful relationship.
Yes.
And to the ladies, we honor you. Keep holding on. Keep trusting God. You are not too much and you are not forgotten either.
That's right.
You know, whether you're waiting on dating, just remember, you don't need to rush what God is still building. Believe me, a lot of us are in our building stage.
That's right.
Don't rush it.
That's right.
Let him build, be committed, be faithful.
Yes.
Protect your peace. Very important.
Yes.
You know, stay prayerful. So make it a habit to continually praying and walk in your purpose.
That's it.
You know, make sure you know what it is. What's the reason why you exist?
Right.
Why you doing what you're doing? If you're going to bring someone in your life, who is this person?
Right.
And what is it that you expect him to bring in? Be very specific with those things.
That's true.
And if you do that, you'll get the right person.
Absolutely.
And the right person will know exactly what you want. So they'll know you are the right person for them as well.
That's good. That's good.
It's a tough world out there.
It is.
And many of us didn't have it that hard. I mean, I'm sitting here talking about, I don't know how I would have handled it if I was growing up in this moment. You know, I would have had to figure it out. And many of you guys are going to have to figure it out. But make sure that the right foundations are there.
Yes.
The right expectations are there.
Right.
And you take the best approach you know how when it comes to tackling dating. Yes, we live in a very technologically advanced world.
Yes.
The Tenders, all these Christian Mingle, all these apps are there, and they will continue to be here. If you're going to use one of those things, make sure that you're using it the right way.
Right.
And you're making the right connection.
Yes.
And it's always good to have a mix of the two, digital and physical.
That's right.
Believe me,
right.
it's important. But you know what? This is a great conversation, and I'd like to keep it going in the comments. I know you guys have been very active lately in the comments, and we appreciate all the feedback you've been giving us.
Yes.
So please keep this conversation going. I'd like to hear how you are handle whatever situationship you may find yourself into,
Yes.
and what your next step would be. You know what? If you find this episode bless you,
Yes.
share it with someone who you think needs to hear it.
That's good.
So if you have a friend that's been stuck in a situationship, you need to share this podcast with them.
Yes.
And be
yes.
sure to subscribe yourself and ask them to subscribe. So when we put out videos like this one,
Yes.
they'll be notified.
Yes. We've been getting a lot of emails from our listeners talk about the singleness, okay?
Yes.
They need that.
Absolutely. But you know, guys, it's been fun hanging out with you guys. We appreciate you listening to this podcast. We had fun talking to you about our experience and some of the things we've learned. So until next time, take care of yourself. Peace.